So if you love Wordle and you are looking for a relationship, there may be something you're missing, because you can actually use Wordle as a way to get messages from your spirit guides. And they're going to be able to tell you with an actual word or a few words what it is that you need to know to help you on that journey. So if you don't know what Wordle is, basically it's a game where you get 6 different chances to guess a particular word. So we're actually using it as a source of divination, much like tarot or astrology or looking at tea leaves or looking at your dream symbology. But the difference is that you get a specific word. It's like your future soulmate actually gets to speak to you. And that's what I love about this technique. So I'm going to go through my process for how I use it, and then I'm going to give you 5 different prompts, because we all know that we want to try to avoid yes or no questions when we're looking at any kind of divination question. And I think one of the biggest pitfalls I find is that if you get a word and it could sort of go both ways, choosing the direction you would prefer it to be rather than direction it might be. So a word that I got recently was booty. And that was an interesting word because, booty can be like a booty call, or it can be like a pirate treasure. And depending on what that brings up for you, what the personal connotations are for you, it could go either way. But we can lose so much time in our dating life if we're sort of trying to look at these answers with the rose-colored glasses and getting the answers that we want rather than the answers that our spirit guides are trying to give us about our relationships. So the way it works is that you're going to be doing a Wordle, but before you start, you're going to think of your question. You put a word in, and every time you do that, the rose shows you which of the letters are actually where they belong. So if a letter is green, that means that letter belongs there, or a letter could be yellow, that means it's in the word, but it's not in the right position, or it's going to be gray, which means it's not in the word at all. So that, yes, your answer is that final winning word of the day, but those other words that you chose sort of give you layers of meaning as well. As you do your Wordle, you're going to want to put yourself in sort of a meditative state. So you don't feel like you're choosing the words that you might want the universe to be giving to you, right? And so that's a balance that you just have to find for yourself. But if it feels like a little bit you're unclear and you're worried that you're sort of directing it yourself, wait till the end, because I'm going to tell you sort of a workaround for that. Go ahead and play the Wordle all the way through until you have your answer. And sometimes you don't get the answer at all, but the system will give you your answer. So another thing to watch is, let's say you get a Wordle for a particular question, and it can be very tempting to just want to pile on the Wordles to get more direction on one question, and sort of waiting until, once again, we get that answer we're sort of hoping for. And so really watching ourselves, and one way to keep track of whether you might be sort of obsessing over one particular person or question is to keep a diary of your Wordles and the answers that you got. And then it's easier to tell, like, am I putting too much emphasis on the same question or same sort of question? So that's also something to keep in mind. So let's dive into these 5 prompts. The first one is, what sort of energy am I projecting on a first date? What is that sort of energy that people pick up from me? So if you are getting a word like closed or proud, then you might ask yourself, am I a little too reserved when people first meet me and it doesn't really match who I feel like I am? And, I might allow myself to be a little bit more, just going with the flow on a first date. And the next prompt is, what sort of internal block is keeping me from attracting my soulmate? So if you had words come up like lies or paths, that could be that you're attracting people that have a background that isn't congruent with actually being in a place where they can be in a real relationship. So looking at that, and the words aren't always so clear cut like I'm mentioning, but there are really great tools out there that you can use to get a deeper sense of what a word might mean. Like looking into the etymology of a word can give you more perspective than just a really tiny dictionary definition. And the next prompt is something that is really my specialty because I'm an astrologer and I really focus a lot on astrology and timing. So you could ask the Wordle, what is my timing like right now? Is this a good time for me to start a relationship? And if you're getting words that are sort of denoting some sort of delay, then you might want to sort of hold back and take some time for yourself. Or if you're seeing words that are telling you like sort of you're getting the green light, like even the word green, like a green light on a stoplight, then that could be telling you like this is a really good time to put yourself out there. So this is the fourth prompt, and I love this one. It's what specific behavior is keeping me from attracting my soulmate. And this one is fantastic because the words here really give you a much more detailed explanation and sort of guidance on what it is that you might want to accentuate. And you might find that when you are sort of going more in this direction, that you're feeling more in tune, that things actually are flowing more for you. Let's say that you got the word mover. Do you need to move to another town because your soulmate is somewhere else completely? Or what about hatch? Do you need to hatch a completely new plan to attract that person that you're looking for? And the fifth prompt is, what is the hidden truth about why I'm still single? And I love this one because it could give you an answer that is completely not in your sort of line of sight, right? Because usually when I speak with my clients, everyone has a good sense of why I'm still single, and I work with them a while, and there can be a completely different angle that they are unaware of, and they go in that direction, and then boom, within weeks, they get a relationship. Now, like I said, I promised that I was going to give you a way to sort of bypass feeling like that you're coming up with your own Wordle words to sort of direct what it is that you're hoping to see. And the way I recommend going about like getting away from any kind of possibility of you putting your own sort of intention on it is to use what's called the Wordle archive. And that's where you can go and you can play maybe 6 games and then use a die, and you can roll a die for your particular question, and then that's going to coincide with one of the Wordles that you just played. So let's say that you see a word that you don't like maybe delay or false, and that's not what you were hoping to see. Sort of bypassing that and just continuing on could mean losing another year of our life to somebody that isn't a good fit when we could be meeting our soulmate. I love using Wordle in this way. If your spirit guides have been trying to get through to you and they have a very specific word that they are trying to send to you in a much more clear way about your love life to help you through your journey, Wordle is an excellent way to get that answer from the universe.